Connor, it's finally here.
What's here?
Donda has arrived.
I remember you saying something about how... What did you say on Twitter? I can't remember. You said something about... It was critical, but you said something.
I said a few things.
You said few things. I saw one thing.
First of all, I've listened to it in its entirety. It's almost 2 hours long.
I heard, yeah.
27 tracks. 4 of them are repeat tracks with additional or different verses.
And of course you listened to all of it.
Yeah. I did. It's fine. It's kind of mid.
Underwhelming?
I'm not super into it. I mean, like, I haven't liked a Kanye album in 10 years.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't liked, ever since Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is heralded by some as one of the greatest rap albums of all time, which it's definitely up there. But since then, it's like, Yeezus was whack. What came after that? The Life of Pablo, I didn't care for, but it seems like a lot of people like.
Forgot about that. I remember people shitting on that when that came out.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that's a different album now than when it came out. Because like he kept like updating it and tweaking it and stuff. The only way you can actually listen to the original version of that album is if you bought the CD at launch.
Not even like YouTube videos? Maybe
no,
back
it's
in the
all
day?
gone. It's all like you can't find it. Like
Damn.
It's all gone. It's fascinating. I mean, I'm sure there's like it lives on the internet somewhere.
Unofficial stuff is out
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Ye was whack. And this one it's just and then Jesus King was whack, and then this one it's just if he condensed it down from 27 to like the best 14, I would be much higher on it.
A good usual album number of songs would have been more preferable. It seems like the repeat ones weren't needed. If they're just repeating certain verses.
Not at all. It did not need these repeats at all. Also, how dare you allow DaBaby to have a better verse than Jay-Z? How fucking dare you, Kanye? You give Jay-Z this floaty ass, weird ass beat. Weird fucking beat. And he obviously doesn't know how to rap on it. Give him a different beat, Kanye. There was literally the song Kanye loves his beat changes. There's a beat change at the end of the song. There's no vocals over that part. It's just a beat change. Jay-Z would have sounded better on that beat change. Why did you not give him that beat change? Make it a moment, because Jay-Z and Kanye, I don't know if you know, they had a falling out. They've apparently come back together a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening.
And they did, and then this was like a little jab at him.
No, it's not a jab. It's just whack. It's just like I'm not going to say the verse is whack. It's just the way it was put together did not sound great. There was some really good lines from Jay, but he sounded awkward on that beat.
Now, admittedly, Tavin, is that truly the case, or is DaBaby just a better rapper than Jay-Z?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Maybe he's just better. Have you ever? Yeah, like I know that's a foreign concept.
And then somehow DaBaby, same beat, 15 tracks later, because it was one of the repeat songs.
Okay.
Just flowed way more comfortably over that beat, and it was a really good DaBaby verse. It was one of his better verses. But yeah, just overall, like the album, like I'll probably skim through it again and be like, I remember liking this song, I think, and then I'll go through. Lil Yachty, surprisingly, had a really good verse.
I thought he was like dead or something. I haven't heard from him in a while.
Nah, he's still around. He's just not like super relevant, but he's on there, and he's got a pretty solid verse. I was listening to it, I was like, this guy's killing it. And I was like, wait, this is fucking Yachty. I haven't heard Yachty in like 3 years. Where has he been?
So the features are overall pretty good on the song.
I like most of the features and stuff.
Overall, it's kind of the songs themselves are pretty mid.
Yeah, it's just I don't think any of the production is that interesting. I mean, it's Kanye, so of course they have moments of brilliance.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I find a lot of the beats super floaty. I just find that the album wasted a lot of time. Mm-hmm. It was very bloated. We wasted a lot of time. We didn't say too much. Could have cut easily 10 songs off.
Because even some songs just kind of blew just in one ear out the other. Just didn't do much for me.
Yeah, there was one song that was literally Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. It was literally his song. It was clearly a Pop Smoke song that like was in the vault, like he was working on it.
Okay.
And you know when like you're on YouTube and you see like collab songs that aren't actual collab songs, it's just some fan ripped a bunch of verses off from bunch of different songs and put them on a different beat, and you can hear it like in the vocals, like like they're pitched too high, they're a little too fast from the original, and like it sounds warped because you ripped you didn't have the stems, so you just ripped the vocals off the song as best as you could. That's what it sounded like with this Pop Smoke song. Is Kanye ripped these vocals off, put it on his new beat, and it was clearly distorted, and sped up and pitched up a little higher.
Was it just one of those?
But the problem was, Connor, you could still hear the original beat.
Ooh, that sounds like...
There is a beat underneath Kanye's beat that is clearly the beat that Pop Smoke is actually rapping to. It sounded like Pop Smoke was playing in the background and Kanye held a microphone up to it and then put his beat on top of that. And it was like, what? It was like a 2-minute song. I was like, why? Why did you feel the need to do this? This didn't need to be here. Why is this here?
Maybe it was his attempt at paying homage.
It felt that way because it was just him. It was just Pop. And then...
Big Pop, sorry. Big Pop?
No, Pop
Smoke.
Stop.
Yeah, okay, I can't remember.
Stop. It was just Pop Smoke, and it sounded like it would have been a banger. I don't feel that way.
Now, the whole thing about hearing another beat under it, the one he's actually rapping to, is that that's an issue with like audio mixing, or is it just...
Yeah, the mix was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just bad. It was bad. And then there's a bunch of artists who were there who we know recorded verses we heard because Kanye had like 7 listening parties for this fucking album that were live streamed. Mm-hmm. So there are verses we heard. They're not there. Yeah. They're gone. And it's and now I'm reading somewhere that Kanye actually didn't release the album. The label pushed it forward and pushed it onto streaming services without him.
Oh, really?
And to which I go, Kanye is one of the biggest superstars in music. What the fuck are you doing pissing him off? He's a billionaire. What the fuck are you doing? So I don't know what all that's about. But, Connor, Donda may not have been that great, but I wasn't expecting it to be that great anyway.
Because you haven't heard something you like from him in 10 years.
It's been a minute
particularly
since I've loved a Kanye album.
Yeah.
There's songs here and there. I got a couple of songs from The Life of Pablo that I was like, this is a good song.
I mean, there's some songs from here that you would listen to, right?
Yeah.
Again? Yeah.
Yeah. That Okay Okay song, it's called Okay Okay. But it's clearly like some kind of subliminal diss song towards Drake, I feel.
Oh, okay.
So that song's a fucking banger. That's the song with Lil Yachty on it. He fucking killed it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so like I'll probably go back and listen to that song. There's a couple other songs that I want to re-listen to and be like, did I like this or did I not like this? I don't know. But yeah, my problem, too long. The songs were too long. A lot of the songs were over 5 minutes long. Too long.
Yeah, I guess that's what's made it 2 hours long.
Too fucking long. And 27 tracks.
If you're gonna do that many tracks, you want to keep them like 3 minutes. Get 3.5 minutes.
Fucking together, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it just cut. Yeah, I hate long albums to begin with. If your album's that long, you don't have anything to say. Like, to me, personally. Anyways. Just felt like a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Penny Gamescast.
Not the Rapcast. It's the Gamescast.
This is the rap. Not the rap. Oh, one day, maybe.
Maybe. You'll find someone.
One day I'll find a fan and I can talk about rap music in the way I want to, bro.
Phil listens to rap music.
No, fuck off. No, he doesn't. Anyways, Connor, let's drop some sense on him. Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 58. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this show comes to you every Monday, 8 a.m., youtube.com/2pennygamescast, but you can also catch it on mainstream podcast services such as Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, SoundCloud. We're out there. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, comment. You know, tell us how you're feeling about the show. We really do appreciate it. It helps a lot. Also, if you didn't know, you can watch us play games live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/2pennygames, where me and my buddy Phil do a show we like to call Hype, H-Y-E-P, Have You Ever Played, in which one of us shows the other one a game they've never played. For example, this last week, he showed me Jak and Daxter, The Precursor's Legacy. I played it in full on stream. And there will be an After the Hype review of Jak and Daxter 1, tagged on to the end of this podcast, but also goes up as a separate breakout podcast on Tuesday, youtube.com/2pennygamescast. You can also listen to past things we've done. For example, Connor, you joined us for a very long and lengthy Mass Effect 3 spoiler cast review, in which we talked about our favorite moments, possible moments that we didn't see in our playthroughs, etc., etc., etc. It was great. It was long, super nerdy. If you love Mass Effect, go check that out.
It's the comprehensive take on all things Mass Effect 1 through 3.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think anybody has ever said anything better about Mass Effect in a more eloquent way than how we said it.
Kind of funny, more like kind of non-funny. They don't know what they're talking about with Mass Effect.
They haven't done anything like that.
Oh, they haven't? Well, never mind. I'll get a hit next time. But I'll say something random and, it makes sense.
Right. But, ladies and gentlemen, this show is a show in which me and Connor come to you and talk to you about the new video game news that you need to know about. We come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. Starting off, my first penny this week, Connor, Gamescom happened.
Gamescom. So, for reference, I didn't watch the live showing, but I watched all the trailers after it. Because I thought it was going to be later that night, but it turned out to be like, over where we live, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? Somewhere like around that time. Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, but overall, Gamescom, some good, interesting things there, some fun stuff. Nothing was really mind-blowing. Nothing, shook me to my core in any way, shape, or form. But it just got us some more details on some games we were looking forward to: Elden Ring, Horizon Zero Dawn. You guess the first one. What was the first one? What's the first one on this?
Saints Row.
Saints Row. Now, okay. The one negative of this one.
Oh?
Saints Row.
Hold on. Before, let me cut you off here and give my intro. I watched the full 2-hour live
You did,
stream.
okay.
Yeah. Like recent rap releases, I felt it was a little bloated. The pacing wasn't 100% there. It definitely fell off in the back end, and there was no, big one last thing. It was Death Stranding director's cut for 6 minutes, and I was like, okay.
That was weird. That was the longest thing there. Of everything?
There was some other stuff that went on way too long. And then there was a bunch of ads, ad stuff. Red Bull had popped up a lot. But Red Bull, it was just quick 30-second ads, and then it was done. There were other things in there that I can't remember now because it's been almost a week. Where it was just all right, we're talking about this, and we're still talking about this, and it's not interesting. But it's a little bit of, we got to pay the bills somehow, and this is how we do it. But I felt overall, Gamescom was a success. I felt like they had some great announcements, some great showings. We got a lot of really good information for a lot of games that we're excited about coming very soon. Specifically games like Halo and Horizon. What confused me, though, is Xbox had a presentation literally the day before. And all of the cool Xbox stuff that happened in Gamescom was not present in their own presentation.
That's strange.
Very strange.
What was in there? What was the most notable thing about their presentation?
Goddamn, not a thing, Connor. Not a fucking thing was interesting about. I watched that one and fell asleep. Oh my god.
I'd expect that from Nintendo if they were somehow there, but not,
it was not
Xbox.
It was not good.
Okay.
Anyways, but it was deep dives into certain games like Microsoft Flight Simulator, Psychonauts 2. What is that RTS game that they're pushing right now? Guild Wars, something or other. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
All right.
You saw the confusion on my face.
Yeah, but it's fine. But anyways, so Connor, let's dive into it. Let's talk about some pretty much just the stuff that we found interesting, and then maybe just the important information stuff. We don't need to do a full deep dive into everything that was shown there, because honestly, not everything is worth talking about, but some things are. You have an issue with Saints Row, apparently.
Yeah, people are very upset about this as a whole.
Oh?
The only reason why is because the style of the game looks bad. It looks like...
What?
Yeah, because it's just hipsters playing as gangsters. Now, my experience with Saints Row...
Did anybody play Saints Row?
Yeah, I did. I played Saints Row 2. The whole style of it was goofy.
Yes.
Definitely goofy. That's baseline. That's fine if this is goofy. But they actually looked interesting. They didn't look copy and pasted hipsters from somewhere on the internet, like Watch Dogs, and put them here. So it's just the style going from gangsters, street gangsters,
right,
to this.
Okay, your only experience is Saints Row 2
and 3, but 3.
You played some 3.
Also,
my experience
is
3 and 4, and I like both those games. I liked 4 a lot. 4 is not everybody's favorite.
3 is everyone's kind of favorite from what I've.
Yeah, that one seems to be everybody's favorite. Yeah, but a lot of people like 2, and then there's always those outliers who like 1 for some reason.
Oh, that's an outdated game. But sure, the gameplay we didn't see anything like that because it's only cinematic.
No, it's a cinematic trailer meant to be fun and goofy and stuff.
But the one thing that would have been taken away from this is the style they're going for, which
I totally disagree. This is Saints Row to me.
This is not Saints Row
This is Saints Row pulled back and put back on the ground level with the streets and the gang wars and the stuff. Literally the Yellow Gang. I remember fighting those guys in Saints Row 2, which I toyed around with for a few hours. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're going for. We're doing this again, but we're keeping that, kind of ridiculous, tongue-in-cheek, kind of edgy tone to it with with the Saints being like, fuck you, and waving. I don't think there's going to be dildo bats, but obviously, like,
Yeah.
you know, or dubstep guns or anything. But there's going to be like ridiculously huge, you know, kind of crazy explosive weapons and so forth.
More grounded, so to speak.
More than alien invasion and you're fucking Superman.
And
like,
then the devil comes and takes your boss, and you got to go free him.
Exactly, like more than that. Like,
yeah. It solely lies with the style of the characters. It's going to keep me away from this game because it just doesn't look appealing to me from that point alone.
I think you're being dramatic.
I don't know, man.
I think you're being so dramatic. I don't even understand the whole hipster thing you're talking about. These look like dudes dressed in purple to me.
These look like
except for the dude wearing the dead mouse hat.
And that was also like the cone, like that was the cherry on the ice cream. I just.
I'm like,
couldn't help but roll my eyes at that one.
This is a cartoon game. Yeah,
it's
what it's going to look
like. It's cartoon, but you don't need to make your characters look like jackasses that I would never want to play as or be with in real life.
There was like flashes, like they do like the hard cut through gameplay, but they didn't show any like actual HUD or raw footage. It's all like edited to hell and shit. But it looked tight. It looked tighter than Saints Row had been before. So, no, I mean I'm cool. Release date February 22nd, 2022.
Seems viable.
I feel like if you're going to hold the release date for this long or your announcement for this long, it's probably going to happen anyway. By the way, February, so games are about to start really kicking off here. We just had Psychonauts 2, which I haven't had time to touch. And then it's just going to kind of keep going for the rest of the year. And apparently, it's going to read all the way into March. So we are going to be busy, Connor, playing some video games for a little while. Saints Row. I mean, I'll probably give it a chance. I'll probably see how I feel about it. I feel like it's been a while since we've had one of these open world run around, you know, just kind of blow shit up kind of games. I mean, GTA 5 came out almost a decade ago.
2013.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Saints Row 4 was, fucking, just Crackdown, but on crack.
Crackdown failed itself.
Yeah. Watch Dogs never really popped off. The way it was kind of supposed to. I liked Watch Dogs 2. I like the Watch Dogs 2 elements that I'm kind of seeing in Saints Row here, but obviously taken to a different degree. So yeah, I'm, you know, that open world sandbox, blow shit up, have fun thing. I'm kind of itching for that a little bit.
You are?
A little bit, just a little bit.
You're the last person I would expect to be.
It's like a thing that'll last for like a weekend. Like I just want it for like a week. Like let me play it for like a day or two and then I'll be good.
I felt the same way about the past Far Cry games, which I guess is the closest thing we've gotten to that consistently coming out.
Yeah, but
it's not as
Far Cry
over the top.
It's different. Yeah. Moving on from there, Sifu got a release date, just like Saints Row, February 22nd, 2022. I don't think they're keeping that.
You don't think they're keeping that?
No, I think they're going to delay that. I think because this game has so much potential. They're not going to want it to be overshadowed by other things. Also, some other games are coming out around that window. They don't want to be in this window.
Maybe late March would be a good idea then.
Maybe even to April.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Take your time, make sure the game is as polished as it can be. It's really not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just push it a month, push it 2 months, something. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some space. Let you know these bigger games get through.
Mm-hmm.
Far Cry 6 had another showing. Looked like more Far Cry to me. Far Cry 6.
I saw people like pointing out, and it was there in the reveal trailer, the cinematic moments that it showed would dip in quality. Sometimes it'd be very, very good looking, and then other times it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think it's a difference between these pre-rendered cutscenes and in-game footage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you know, that's something I don't really care about.
Me neither.
Because if the game's fun, which I don't even know if I'm going to get Far Cry.
It's a weird juxtaposition in tone I felt this time around, but I liked it.
Oh, really?
I like it, but it's a weird juxtaposition where it's like, oh man, we're dark and serious and motherfuckers are getting killed. And then it's like, yo, I'm gonna fuck around with this CD player gun.
I guess they wanted to take the angle of like, anything including the villain himself is going to be dark and serious.
Literally, yeah.
And then everything else is going to be wacky and zany.
The more I see of Far Cry 6, the more I like Far Cry 6. I'll
right,
be honest.
It looks interesting.
I didn't need this trailer, but I'm like, alright.
Yeah.
Sure, it looks fun. Like, let's fuck around with it. Fully co-op this time around.
Which,
all story missions, everything, it's all co-op. I think that was the way in 5, but I can't fucking remember.
I think in 5 it was like that. Because I remember, I think in 5, never mind, I wouldn't know about that. Never mind.
Anyways. And then announcement, Marvel's Midnight Suns. This is that Firaxis game, the people who do XCOM. This is the game they've been working on. It was rumored or announced a while back that they were in a Marvel partnership, and this is what we're getting, Midnight Suns. This is some comic book storyline that a lot of people are familiar with. I am not. Looks kind of like, not dark, but it looks kind of serious. You're resurrecting this new original character that they're creating in association with Marvel for your game. It's not. They've been saying, hey, this isn't XCOM.
Yeah, okay, that's good because XCOM wouldn't work with this kind of
There's no like permadeath. I imagine it's still going to be like some kind of turn-based, tactics RPG, but I imagine it's going to play very differently than XCOM did, of course.
Like casual mode in Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
It's honestly, that's kind of the best comparison I would give.
But I like the cast of characters they're pulling here, man. I'm seeing some faces that I don't recognize, and I'm seeing some faces that that the mainstream hasn't recognized really in any meaningful way. So like Blade and Ghost Rider are here. That's exciting.
That is cool.
I like the designs that they're going with for the teams, but like, and I actually do think it helps them with, establish the tone that they're going for. But all of these designs, I like each character's original design better.
Yeah,
and Wolverine, man, we don't get Wolverine enough in games.
But his design in this one's very, very good.
Oh,
it fits his character a lot. He's probably one of the best looking, next to Ghost Rider.
I think the one that looks ridiculous is Cap. Captain America looks silly.
Captain America, there's limited stuff you can do with that. But going back to the designs of them, I do like how they're making it separate from other Marvel properties. Because obviously we got Marvel Avengers, we got the Marvel movies. Everybody's kind of used to the costumes that they have.
Yeah.
So this is a good way to shape it. It's twisted up.
It's very clearly we are not MCU. We're not trying to be anything like MCU.
No.
Unlike some other Marvel games. And then, Doctor Strange is in it too. Yeah, man. Let me play as Doctor Strange.
Oh, is he? Where is he there?
He's in there. He's all over the trailer. He's helping resurrect whoever this. I think it's called the Huntress or something.
Oh, okay.
The Hunter.
The Hunter. Okay.
Okay.
Woo!
I know. But yeah, cool. I'm into it. I'll check it out. They're shooting for March 2022. We'll see if that holds. No hard date, which makes me think probably not. Also, busy time. Probably not the time.
Is this the moment where a lot of these developers found out other people are releasing their games?
Absolutely,
and like, wait a second, Far Cry 6 is coming out at the same round? Wait, no, not Far Cry 6. Fucking Saints Row?
Sifu absolutely went, Saints Row and Horizon. All right, so we need to delay. We need to get out of here.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Halo Infinite had a release date and then some new trailers and stuff that looked cool. Actually, they had a really good cinematic trailer.
It was a nice cinematic.
It was a very good cinematic trailer. Had nothing to do with the game.
No. It's multiplayer cinematic.
Yeah, it was like a multiplayer cinematic thing. Looked good. Looked fun. It was a well told story crafting thing. I like. They're teasing at an idea of like Halo Infinite is going to be a games as a service game.
Yeah.
They're teasing at this idea that like every season we're gonna be telling this big long narrative type thing. They're teasing at that type of thing, and there's gonna be like some kind of progression in that narrative of some sort. That's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that idea. We'll see if it takes off, or if it does anything, or if it's even important or anything. But the important news, like you said, release date December 8th, 2021. Yes. Do you believe them, Connor?
Yeah, because they cut Forge World, they cut co-op.
As we talked about last week.
Yeah, they got campaign and they got multiplayer. Multiplayer already seems to be in working order based off of the beta that he did.
Technical test was very positive. They've got another one coming at some point.
and I feel like Halo always seems to release around the same time, like December and November, like kind of one of those end game.
It's kind of all over the place. It depends on what era of Halo you're talking about. Yeah.
When I played them back in the day, I remember them being around that time. So that's my old experience.
I think like Halo 4 was that way. 3 maybe. 2 was in like March or some shit. I think I have that right. One of the games was in like fucking March or May or some shit.
Yeah, but they've already got me on this game, and most people have already gotten on this train already.
I've already said I'm ready to play Halo Infinite. I'm excited to play Halo Infinite. I want to see how they stack up against, Splitgate this year.
Yeah, that is important. Because everyone's been comparing it.
Everyone's been comparing it.
See how it plays out.
Splitgate, I hope they're lawyered up. I'll say that.
Lawyered up, really?
I feel there's some... You called it the battle rifle, bro.
You did call it the battle rifle.
And it functions and looks exactly the same, bro.
It does. And the base character designs look like Halo Spartans.
Yeah. Y'all should probably make sure
things?
You have some lawyers.
Or just change things as quick as possible.
I mean, we'll see. I don't think they're going to change anything that dramatically, but...
Well, the skins of the characters seem so much different from the base skins, the ones you can unlock.
We'll get to it. But I've been dabbling around with the new season pass that they've put out and stuff. They're trying to go in some kind of direction. I don't know, man. They're going kind of wacky with some skins.
Oh, really?
Now. Yeah, you can play as like a coal miner.
Huh?
I don't know. It's very strange.
Fortnite
comes
in
a
like
whole
Fortnite.
Almost, almost. Anyways, Dying Light 2, I believe we already had a release date for this, but they showed off some more gameplay and stuff. December 8th, 2021. Connor, how did you feel about Dying Light 2?
December 8th? Okay, well, maybe... I feel
Same
like
day
they...
as Halo, huh?
Wouldn't they... I don't think they'd change. I think Dying Light 2 would be fun. Like,
I think this game has
fun.
been in the oven for too long, and they need to get it out.
Yeah. As far as this game goes, I played a little bit of the first one. I rented it, I'm pretty sure. Don't know why I rented it. How I rented it.
Just because, I don't know.
I did. I remember the gameplay just wasn't a fit for me.
Really?
It was never satisfying to kill zombies. It seemed very tedious.
Ah.
Just wasn't my cup of tea. Obviously, like, I could see that being a game people really like, and it wasn't at its core a bad game.
Right.
You know, the combat systems weren't bad; they just weren't for me. So this one seems more. It seems crazier, that's for sure, in terms of the parkour and some of the combat. Like,
right.
In the trailer they showed, when they showed the gameplay bits, he did like an axe slam on the ground and it hit people backwards, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
It looks entertaining, but I don't know if I'm getting it at this point.
Yeah, it does look fun. It doesn't look like it's for me either.
Yeah.
What's funny is when they announced this game, they were talking about, hey man, we're doing like big things with narratives where like entire quest lines will get wiped out depending on your choices.
Yeah.
And like entire like villages and towns will change depending on your choices. And then they haven't talked about that mechanic in years. Like that was 2-3 years ago that they talked about that. And I feel like Dying Light 2 has been has been showing up at E3s and so forth forever, and it's just like, I can't care. I can't care anymore, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because I never played the first one, didn't look that great to me, but people really liked it and it found an audience.
I'm sorry, you said you played the first one? Or
I did not play the first one. It didn't look like for me. But, moving on, Connor, Horizon Forbidden West got a release date. And that was a really weird presentation that they did where they just had some guy talking about it. I forget who. We didn't see it.
Did they
name it? Did it come fast enough? Okay, it doesn't say in this article that we're using to structure. Anyways, Horizon Forbidden West, February 18th, 2022. No real gameplay or anything. And then I think they even repeated footage that they've already shown. Cool. Can't wait.
Do you think that's going to stick?
Yes. Yeah.
Didn't you make predictions recently about when you thought that game was going to come out? Didn't we both? I feel like we did. I think I said late 2021.
Yeah. And then that was before they officially were like, hey, it's not making the year or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think it was making this year. And, that was then confirmed, and then now we got this February date. Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, got enough time to beat the first game.
You do have enough time to go play that first game.
It's not long, so it's not long, right?
I mean, I put 50 hours in.
Fuck. Okay, well...
But
shit.
I did everything.
Oh, okay. I would do the story. I'd probably streamline it as much as possible.
I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you do that. But,
I know, you said that before. Yeah.
But,
I'll wait and see. I'm playing it again, and I'll start off from where I left off, so I'll...
Oh, if you're just going to start off where you left off, you'll beat it in no time.
yeah, that'd be fine.
Forza Horizon 5 got some stuff. I don't know.
Cares?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Elden Ring, gameplay behind-the-scenes stuff people seemed happy about.
Details were released. People were very, very happy with it. It seems, when the reveal trailer was first shown, people instantly said, it's grander, more open-world Dark Souls. And from what I've been hearing about it, it's grander open-world Dark Souls.
Hearing some Breath of the Wild inspirations.
Yes, because like the overworld, besides the main areas, has individual dungeons that you go into, and I don't know how that's all going to play out, especially because you can't invade in the overworld when you're riding around on horse. It seems like it has to happen in those smaller areas.
It's in the dungeons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense because
I think that's smart. It's a more tailored experience that way. Yeah.
People were complaining because it seems like they're actually nerfing the whole invasion type thing, because it seems like you can't get invaded if you're by yourself.
From Software game?
Well, not Sekiro.
Not Sekiro.
No.
Okay.
But it seems like you have to be with somebody to even get invaded in the first place. There's a PvP.
Somebody?
Yeah, because usually the way it happens is that when you got invaded, you had a higher chance of getting... I'm sorry. If you called in a support phantom to come and help you going through levels or whatever, or a boss, that was the time when it was more likely to get invaded. So the more people you had, the more you would get invaded and deal with that problem. So it seems now you will only get invaded if if you already have somebody with you. So you're not going to have to deal with that as much. And they still have the PvP area, so it's not like they're nerfing that all as well.
Right.
So it seems like there's some... there was some interesting news. There was a lot of stuff coming out of it. I won't go over all of it.
Changes, and people are adverse to change.
Most people were positive about the changes.
Yeah.
No one's really complaining overall. Just some skepticism online, but you're going to find that anywhere.
You're going to find that's the internet.
Yeah.
People hate everything on the internet. And then Call of Duty Vanguard had a gameplay trailer for their story mode. Looked cool. It looked great. It looked like Call of Duty, man.
Call of Duty.
The really high budget, super cool action movie thing almost convinced me to buy the game. But then I remembered Activision Blizzard's a shitty place to work, and they need to be held accountable. And I'm not a big Call of Duty fan anyway, so I wasn't planning on playing the game anyway. So
okay.
Nah, I just wasn't planning on it. So but yeah, don't forget Activision Blizzard, shit, garbage.
Not good.
Not good. But Connor, some quick things that I wanted to talk about also, little smaller things. My favorite game that was shown at Gamescom opening night live here was Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
This fun little indie Devolver Digital published, who actually makes it. Let me play this little intro.
Yeah, I remember, I didn't see this because I didn't watch the live stream. Massive Monster.
Yeah, this is a roguelike, very cute, like where you're a little sheep and you're being executed, and then the devil or some kind of devil creature comes in and saves you, and now you work for him, and you're building out this cult, and you're just like a little lamb. You're building out your cult, and you're being evil and making blood sacrifices, and it's got almost like it's a roguelike where you go through your dungeons and you're battling and you're bringing back resources to like your camp. And you're building it out. It almost looks like some like twisted version of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, City Builder.
Yeah.
City Builder game with some blood sacrifices.
Dude, I'm so in, bro. It looks so cute and fucking adorable and fun to play. Like the gameplay looks good. It's a little slower than I would personally like, but it still looks really, really good. And I like all the creature designs. I like this like weird asymmetric art design that they've chosen. That you could just fucking kumbaya with your little woodland creature friends and worship Satan together, bro.
That's the worst part. He looks so cute when he's doing everything that's not sacrificing people, but he's always at his end goal.
He's absolutely slaughtering followers.
Beware false prophets.
False prophets. I got the trailer playing right here because I'm so excited. Oh, you got there. We're gonna have false prophets infiltrating our camp, and we gotta identify and kill them. Hell yeah, dude, this looks great. Anyways, and then also this weird fucking open world game, Doki V.
Yeah, it's Korean from what I remember hearing about.
Some kind of Monster Hunter fucking game where you're running around a city with your friends and you got an umbrella and you're riding sheep, I guess, and you're bouncing on disco balls, and I don't know what the fuck this game is, but it looked weird.
I'm gonna say it. Yeah. The designs of the characters look fucking weird. I don't know what
weird
because they're
but
kids.
You have all these superpowers where you're like flying around and stuff. I want to know what this is.
Are they kids or adults? That's what I want to. They look like kids, but everybody looks like that. 14, bro. But everybody seems they look like that.
You know what it looks like? You know what it reminds me of, like when you're like running around town as a kid and you're bored and you're just like imagining shit like with your friends and you're like. You know what I'm talking about?
That might be the inspiration.
Where you're just bored running around town, like imagining you're in a battlefield or something. This is what it looks like, and you're fighting giant monsters and swinging on things somehow.
You know, that is something that I would imagine walking around, like if I had an umbrella that allowed me to fly.
Yeah.
Which is in the trailer.
Yeah.
That might be. I mean, I didn't hear any developer interviews on this at all.
I
don't think we heard
saw
anything.
The trailer that they showed, and it looks weird, but it looks fun.
People were happy. People were very happy about that.
I don't know what this game is. Is it just Monster Hunter? Is it a character action game? What is it?
Do you collect monsters? Because you're fighting with other monsters.
Collect creatures, fight alongside them, and explore the open world in Doki V. This extended look at Doki V premiered during Gamescom. Blah, blah, blah. Alpaca like creatures. Yeah, it's just weird, man, and it looks fun.
You got the Ghostbuster guns.
Why the fuck not? Bro?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not? Anyways, Connor, that's about it for Gamescom. Anything else catch your eye that you want to double back to?
No, a lot of the ones that we recovered in our reference article were ones that I was, caught my eye the most.
Those were the main things right there.
Yeah.
Though
I'm surprised I missed Cult of Lamb. That was interesting.
Yeah. So Gamescom. I mean, Jeff Keighley is always good host. He does a really good job. He does a good job putting shows together. But this one, I definitely felt there was many moments, especially towards the end, and the weird showing of Death Stranding, where it was like, all right, yeah, time to pay some bills. Bathroom break, let's go. And it was long, but it was mostly good. Connor, moving on to something not so good.
No. Remember how we mentioned Blizzard a second ago?
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard?
Activision Blizzard. Here we are again. So this is your first penny of the day, because I like giving you the boring. I like it, not the boring, the sad stories. Even though
stories.
I don't know if I would call this
pathetic.
sad. I don't know what I would call this.
Pathetic. Just use that word. It is pathetic.
That works. Blizzard is changing Mcree's name in Overwatch amid lawsuit. I am pulling a Kotaku article by Ethan Gach. Blizzard announced on Twitter that it will be renaming Jesse Mcree and delaying the start of Overwatch's next story arc. The change comes after the real-life developer for whom the cowboy character was named was let go from the company amid ongoing fallout from a California lawsuit accusing the company of widespread sexual harassment and discrimination. Quote, "We built the Overwatch universe around the idea of inclusivity, equity, and hope. And hope are the building... We built the Overwatch universe around the idea that inclusivity, equity, and hope are the building blocks of a better future," the development team wrote in a statement. "As we continue to discuss how we best live up to our values and to demonstrate our commitment to creating a game world that reflects them, we believe it's necessary to change the name of the hero currently known as Mcree to something that better represents what Overwatch stands for." So they're delaying their little story arc or whatever, but they're dropping a free-for-all map. They're basically just kind of switching around where content drops to include this change.
Yes.
Listen, this is something that needed to happen, but this is not a sign of progress.
No. Now, the usual things that happen with this kind of stuff, that people have accused companies like Riot, Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard in the past, is announcing things after bad news comes out. Mm-hmm. So, and it being like this was obviously still in the realm of the sexual assault allegations.
Activision Blizzard is a great example of that, specifically during the Free Hong Kong movement, that they fucked that up and then tried to cover it up with Diablo 4, and we were all like,
we all knew what they were doing.
And Overwatch 2, and we were like, shut the fuck up.
Now, this is something that happened. It happened a little while ago, but there were accusations. Well, I think the state of California was making the accusations. Yes, it was. They accused Activision Blizzard, of shredding HR documents related to abuse allegations.
Son of bitches.
Coincidentally, a couple days later, just Mcree, by the way, we changed his name.
We're changing his name.
Yeah. Now, important to note that with the shredding of HR documents, there's like I haven't read into it too extensively, but there's potential felonies that could be charged from doing things like that. So, this is once again another diversion tactic from Activision Blizzard to try and get people.
Guys, look, we do care. This is easy, bro. This isn't real change. This is easy. This is something that needed to happen. I know World of Warcraft has similar issues where entire quest lines are named after employees who were fucking around like this.
Yeah.
So all of these things needed to happen, but this is not important. Like, this should not be this is how we're changing things. Like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, actually change something. And I understand it's a big company. It's going to take a while, and we're dealing with lawsuits, so you can't really talk about everything.
No. But still, maybe this is the least best thing you could have done. And it be in light of bad things coming out of the news from Activision Blizzard.
To cut some slack, because I'm sure there's good people over there.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't know how you properly deliver this news.
No.
Like, they didn't mishandle this news drop. They didn't mishandle it.
Things over now.
But it's clearly as you said, it's clearly a diversion tactic to be like, hey, we are changing when you're not changing.
Yeah.
Or we assume you're not changing. Because you haven't shown any real evidence. But, all that's tied up in lawsuits. This change did need to happen. The next big Overwatch story arc features the Mcree character heavily, and they wanted to change that before that arc drops because, if it drops in the cinematics and they're calling him Mcree, that lives on the internet forever. So timing, you got to do it as fast as you can with how all of this is working, because the context does matter. But I just don't. I don't know if there's a better way to do it, but this is not. Sure, do this. Fine, cool. It needed to happen, but don't stop here. This isn't like. What was it? Was it Fort Worth that painted Black Lives Matter down their fucking main street? Was it Fort Worth?
I think it was Fort Worth.
It was a Texas city,
was
wasn't it? I thought it was. I don't remember.
I remember hearing about
that. But it was like, this is bullshit. Like, this is just what do they call it?
Marketing.
It's capitalizing on activism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's kind of gross, and it's not doing anything for real change. Changing your street name to Black Lives Matter doesn't change police brutality. Changing Mcree's name doesn't change the fact that y'all are fucking up and mistreating women and marginalized groups over there. So, I mean, that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
there's not much else, and there's not much to the story, but it's just like, meh.
I feel like in the future we're not going to be giving many wins to Activision Blizzard. on many things they do.
Not easily.
I hope we have. I know, not easily, but I hope we can. We can say, hey, they completely fired tons of people and turned them over to the police or whatever it is they did.
The
Something like
problem
that'd be
is
great.
you're looking at the industry as a whole, and you're going, well, Ubisoft has been in hot water for almost 2 years, and they haven't really done anything substantial. Activision Blizzard has been in hot water before and did nothing. And is this going to be real or fake? I don't know. It's so mainstream that maybe some actual change will come of it, which would be fucking great, and it's what I hope for. But it's a lot of wait and see, and until then, we just got to keep fucking what's a good term?
Keep hammering
them on it. Thank you. I wanted to say spanking, but I was like, that's probably not appropriate.
We've
given
got
the context of the story.
Fair enough. We got to nail them. We got to nail them.
That one's a little weird too. But anyways, Connor, moving on. Your second penny of the day. Topic number 3. Fortnite's doing some stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's doing
well-meaning stuff, but maybe executed unfortunately.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward. So, Fortnite has introduced an interactive Martin Luther King experience. Just so everybody knows, we are pulling an Axios.com article. Megan, that's a big last name. Farahmanesh? I'm so sorry, Megan. I don't know.
Congratulations, you're racist.
I'm very white. I'm sorry. Anyways, but we're not going to read through this article too much. It's except for this little quick blip, which kind of gives you everything you need to know. Fortnite has dropped its March Through Time initiative, which turns the game into an educational tool that allows a young audience to interact with King's speech on a platform they know well. Epic Games and Time Studios created March Through Time, in which players can explore a digital version of the Lincoln Memorial in D.C. during 1963, listen to King's full I Have a Dream speech, and view digital museum-like exhibits. Cool that you're doing this. Cool that you're good, because a lot of little kids play Fortnite, so it's cool that they have this direct outlet in their free-to-play. Every kid plays Fortnite.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool that they get to jump through and look at a museum and experience this piece of history and the ups and downs of it, and they get the full speech, which is it's very rare where they get the full, where kids are shown the full I Have a Dream speech. They're usually only shown the bright happy parts that white people like, and there's some parts of that speech where it's very what can I say? Not extreme, but very what is the word I'm looking for, Connor? Help me out here.
Progressive? Because I know he said progressive things a lot.
The whole thing is progressive, and the whole thing I'm down with, but it's super, it's just kind of extreme for the time, so it's impressive that speech worked the way it did. But it's because white people only pull the excerpts that they like. So to have the full thing, that's cool. Lots of different memorial sites and stuff where you can get quotes from the King's speech. You see the King's speech. I know there's a segregation pedestal or example or showcase thing with different types of water fountains and stuff. It's a little weird. But, it's all built around the idea that this is a museum. This is a museum-like experience where you can go and learn and stuff. The thing, though, is
the response.
Fortnite also is a very cartoony game that involves a lot of licensed IP and materials and stuff. Like, you can play Superman and Venom and a Xenomorph from the Alien franchise and Rick and Morty and stuff. So you got Rick and Morty standing in line in the bathroom for a segregated bathroom, and you're like, all right, this is a little weird, man. You probably should have turned those skins off because that's a little odd. And then you were telling me there's a story of emotes are turned off during the I Have a Dream speech.
Now, important, they were, but not first. So the reaction to that was, okay, we got to stop these emotes.
Yeah.
So they stopped it from being able to be done. Now, there's some kind of deal with DC, so there was an emote that was included in the game, regardless of that change they made, and that was a cracking whip, like the cracking of the whip of of Wonder Woman.
Oh, it's a lasso thing. Oh, and they can't turn it off. Oh, ooh, this
is a case of classic comedy, Tavin. That's what this is. Of just unfortunate things happening and just having a spectacular result.
Didn't quite think this through all the way, did we, guys?
No. No, they did not. I would say they didn't.
So, okay, I I guess good on you, Fortnite, for trying. But if two random white guys are looking at this going, this is a little strange. It's probably a little strange. There's probably some people who are more qualified to talk to you about the black experience who are like,
hey man,
I guess, but yeah.
Life in the big city. That's what that is.
Anyways, moving on. My second penny, final penny of the day. The Naughty Dog co-presidents Neil Druckmann and Evan Wells dropped an interview with Game Informer this last week with Ben Reeves. And then we're just going to kind of touch on some of the things. We're not going through the full interview because we don't need to talk about how great Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter was. But I'll start with reading the intro excerpt, and then we'll jump to the questions that we found interesting. And we're not even going to read them all in full. We're just going to, some of them we will because it's important. Other ones we'll be like, all right, cool, whatever. So the intro excerpt. Naughty Dog is one of the most beloved game developers in the industry. Since 1984, the studio has delivered a steady stream of hits, including iconic franchises like Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and The Last of Us. But making games isn't getting any easier, so we sat down with Naughty Dog co-presidents Evan Wells and Neil Druckmann to talk about how they're shepherding the legacy of the studio, working to combat work crunch, and dealing with harsh criticism. So immediately we're jumping into the legacy of Naughty Dog. They're like, yeah, it's great. We're so privileged to be part of this great legacy of games and yada, 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 yada. One thing that's kind of interesting, they're asked if it's no secret that their games have become darker and darker in tone over the last couple of years, with the expansion of Uncharted, Last of Us obviously having a big, not changing of the guard, but a big, tonal shift for Naughty Dog, who came from Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter, which are super cartoony, and then into Last of Us, super fucking dark.
So, was the DLC... I actually never played it. I know you're going to be upset. The DLC for Uncharted 4, it was dark? It was, noticeably darker than a lot of the other series?
No. I would say it was even lighter than Uncharted 4.
Oh, really?
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. But, Uncharted 4 is darker than 1 through 3.
That is true, yeah.
Way
darker.
Because it...
Not dark, but darker.
Not dark. It's still your pulp action film or whatever.
Yeah.
But... And dark is the wrong word. It's more... Not even grounded, because it's still ridiculous, but it's more down to earth, in how they treat characters and relationships and dialogue.
Yeah.
They talk like real people, not action hero movie or not action movie heroes.
Not as many one quips as quip liners.
I mean, they're still there.
They're still there.
There.
They can't get rid of that.
They're still there in spades because that's Uncharted.
But more of the dialogue is, like you said, it's more grounded, more realistic. But I think
specifically when we talk about dark games, we're talking about Last of Us. Yes, the first Last of Us was very dark. Last of Us 2 was incredibly dark.
Yeah.
Some would say in some ways that went too far. I disagree, personally. But that's me.
Yeah, I would too.
It's not like 12 minutes where you're like, why the fuck am I... So, they were asked, do they have any desire towards lighter fare or returning to their roots for those kid-friendly games? Kind of like a non-answer where they're like, yeah, we look at guys like Ratchet and Clank, man. They're doing great over there. Insomniac is doing great over there with Ratchet and Clank. We like Ratchet and Clank. And, we really like our old projects, but we really take a lot of time when we finish a project to say, what time we get. And you're like, all right, cool. Yeah, probably not then.
Yeah.
They're probably going to continue doing what they want to do there.
Which is fine. I mean, you don't need to go back to those old games.
No.
You don't need to.
No, I think that would be a waste of time.
Yeah, it would.
That Naughty Dog has carved a path for themselves. I truly believe they're the front runners for the industry right now in pushing the medium forward. They've got some others, alongside them,
right.
Of course. CD Projekt Red for a long time was right next to them until
recently.
And then there's of course great games. I think other first party Sony studios are doing great work as well. Insomniac, Santa Monica, et cetera, et cetera.
The usual.
But I just think Naughty Dog is leading the pack right now, and I think it shows with the influence you see in the entire industry. Games were structured differently post Uncharted. Continuing. They talk about how the relationship between other Sony first party studios works and how it inspires them. Neil Druckmann said, quote, it might be some particular piece of tech, like what Guerrilla was able to achieve with how dense their foliage was. We looked at that and we talked to them about that. Evan Wells commented, you always come out with something that you could do better. even if it's not something you adopt directly, so many times you're brainstorming something in the office with your colleagues, and you look at something like, yeah, that's just going to be too hard to implement, we can't go down that road. And then you go talk to another studio, and you see that they've done that very thing, or something very similar, and you're like, oh my god. And then they talk about how it's paid off, and you're instantly inspired. So this is more like behind the scenes, how the sausage is made type talk.
Yeah. The collaboration that can happen between studios under the Sony umbrella.
Yeah, that's more like talk of how games are actually made that nobody actually cares about and stuff.
Yeah.
So, they talk about how deep foliage is in and stuff. They go on to, bring up examples of how, they do a lot of... They were the lead guys for motion capture for video games with Uncharted. And they, went on and are doing great stuff, with later entries of Uncharted. And Last of Us, of course, performance capture was a big thing for them. And they're like, yeah, man. And then we mocap dogs, and we use motion capture dogs to and have them be sheep in Last of Us 2, for example. We motion captured a horse, and then Sucker Punch. That was kind of a collaboration with Sucker Punch because Ghost of Tsushima, they were mocapping horses as well. So we kind of worked together on that. Nice to see how open and communicative they are with each other. All of that is great.
Yeah, I mean, you're all working in the same industry under Sony, and you're not like the time of like we're gonna make more money than you do. Ghost of Tsushima made a bunch of money. Last of Us 2 made a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. They didn't need to worry about
Shockingly, how successful both those games were with how close they came out together.
I know they came out a month apart. Yeah,
a month apart. So that pandemic times, I think, also helped.
Yeah, true. Everyone's playing everything. At that
Everyone
point.
was playing everything. But yeah, so it's great to see all that collaboration and all that fun stuff. Now, let's dip into some of the important stuff, and then we'll end on future of Naughty Dog and what possible projects they could do. So, they were asked about crunch, specifically, quote, Naughty Dog has such a proven track record, but that hasn't come without cost. Over the years, you've come under fire for studio crunch. Could you speak to your personal experience with crunch and how that's affected the studios? Evan Wells replied, quote, I have definitely personally worked very hard over the years. I think some of that has helped me get to where I am in my career. As a studio, we've all worked hard together, and we are working very hard on every project to find the right balance, just like we do in all our technical aspects of creating a game. We have postmortems, and we look at how the animation went, and we look at how the design went, and we dig really deep into all the things that could have been better and the things we got right. We do the same thing with production. We look at how the whole game was created, and where we can make improvements, and how we can strive the right balance between giving people the opportunity to, as I mentioned earlier, leave the mark on their industry and advance their craft in ways that would have never been achieved, but also find space along that spectrum. Neil Druckmann replied, we have so many talented people that are good at solving problems, whether they're creative or technical. Let me go back to The Last of Us Part 2. Some pillars that were important to us were diversity. Diversity in the people we hire and the characters that we hire in our games, as well as accessibility in how we make our games more accessible. Likewise, we're looking at quality of life for preventing burnout, to employ the brain power we have in our studio. And we started coming up with working groups to talk about the areas in the studio where we can improve. We worked a particular way when we're 40 people. Now we have to evolve as we keep growing. Evan Wells then chimed in again. Something else that we're really focused on is increasing the level of management at the studio. We have more directors and more leads, all with the end goal of giving the entire team more opportunities to provide feedback and check in on their well-being. Druckmann continued. Everybody has a different definition of what crunch means, and I guess for us, we think of it as how do we look out for the well-being of our colleagues and everyone that works at Naughty Dog, which is some combination of how many hours you work and how much stress you're feeling, whether that's something that's going on in the office or at home. We find that there is no one solution that fits everybody. Everybody has a unique situation we might need to address. Now, let's pause there and break down everything they just said here.
A lot of things were said.
Now,
well, not really.
Not really. They've ducked this question. There's no real hard facts. They're talking about some small things, but let's touch on what's good here first. First of all, they're saying it's a leading thing that they're interested in, how we can improve and how we can make this industry evolve in the right ways. Hiring a diverse team, making sure everybody is creative and talented, and making sure that they're not working too hard or too stressed so that they can employ all of that creativity that they have and all that talent that they have. All that's great. how they are talking about how they're doing it right now is implementing more management, which I think is necessary for a thing like this. I've always said crunch is a management issue. Personally, I've always said crunch is a management issue.
Because management not being able to, not being as connected as they should have. Because it's
exactly
like one or two or three people.
You need to send people home. You need to not rule with an iron fist, but you need to be, strict and concerned. And when it comes time to send someone home, you need to be like, hey man, go take a day. Because you're doing great, but it's too much and you need to go. Come back fresh. All of that is great if it's employed correctly. That's a big if. So that's fantastic. The dodging the question with here at the end with everyone has a unique situation that we need to address, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not there's no blanket solution that will just work. That's correct. However, you can't use that as an excuse.
No. Now, important to note that they don't have a 40-hour cap on their work week, which, sure, there's different solutions that work for different people, but baseline, that's what you should have. A minimum hours that you are required to work. There's no forced overtime. There's no... Well, overtime can kind of be difficult because, comparing it to something that's going on right now with crunch, it's been resolved, unfortunately, in a bad way, with the I'm pulling a blank. I've known about it the entire time. The Lay's factory. The Pepsi-Cola Lay's factory that had incredible amounts of overtime. Now, on paper, they didn't have to do the overtime. It was all optional. But they kind of hinted like, okay, we may have to, screw you over in a number of ways, whether it be firing you for some random reason or whatever, that kind of stuff. So, do I think these people are as bad as those people are? No, I don't. But it's still a little bit iffy when you're so vague about what the solutions you have in mind are, and it's just simply, people have different solutions and we're trying to figure that out. It seems like you're not doing enough to try to establish a baseline before dealing with individual problems. Because you can't just have a solution in mind that's solely made to try and tailor to every single person in your workplace.
Right.
You gotta have a baseline, which they're not providing at all.
And granted, I have more faith in the quality of workplace over at Sony studios than I do other studios like, your Ubisofts or your Activision Blizzards or even your Rockstars. I think, for the most part, Sony is leading the industry because they're treating their workers better than most places. But clearly, crunch is a problem industry-wide, and it's specifically a really big problem at Naughty Dog. It's hard when you work there. You work in an industry that is based on creativity and problem solving and solutions. And sometimes you gotta stay late and you gotta work hard and you gotta do things because you're passionate, because you're close to solving an issue. Whatever the reason is, you want to solve it. But it's on job of management to say, hey, it'll be here tomorrow. Go home, see your family, get some sleep, eat, leave the office. Go for a walk, something. Get your head out of here so when you can come back fresh and we can tackle this problem in a new way. Now, sometimes, that means someone's like, no, I can really do it. Just give me another hour. Okay, go for another hour or something. It really is a case-by-case scenario in that sense. But there needs to be a constant, consistent, active effort on management to stop and go, when's the last time you left the office? That shouldn't be a question that has to be asked. People shouldn't be sleeping under their desks like people are. It shouldn't be like, hey man, when's the last time you had a day off? Okay. You've worked 9, 11, 14, 20 days straight. You need to go home.
Yeah.
And it's just go home. Relax.
You see my I keep saying baseline, I'm overusing that word, is you should guarantee 2 days off. You just should.
Something.
Yeah.
It needs to be a, you've been here how long? All right, leave. You don't have to go home, but don't be here. Because, you being here is damaging the long way, or you're hurting yourself, or whatever. And if there's someone who just likes to work a lot, that's cool. But it's on you as managers to be like, we can't, if we let you slide, then other people will slide, or other people will feel guilty about going home or something while you're still working, you gotta go, bro. You just gotta go. Go live a life. Go do something else.
That's where it becomes very difficult because workplace pressure isn't always active. You know, it's not like what I was just talking about with the Pepsi Cola.
It's a passive thing where it's hard to walk past your boss's office where he's busting his ass too and be like, all right, boss, I'm going home. Okay, yeah, you're all bleeding and sweating and putting your blood, sweat, and tears and passion into this great project, but you know that's how this culture cultivates is by being like, oh well, you know, Sarah hasn't gone home in 4 days, so I shouldn't go home either because that's not cool. No, everyone go home.
Yeah, I mean, there also are studies out there that factually prove that if you give workers time off, you don't overwork them, give them less hours, they work more efficiently.
Yeah,
so even
the product will always come back better if you take care of your people.
Yes, which is why that's the most important thing.
Speaking of taking care of your people.
Yes.
The next big question that was asked, one of the things that the industry has talked about as a possible solution is unionization. Do you have any thoughts on unionization? Evan Wells said, quote, I haven't put a lot of thought into that. I don't know if that would be a solution for crunch. To Neil's point about making sure that everybody is able to work as hard or as little as they want, we've got to create an environment that allows that. If we had some sort of restriction where when the clock strikes 40 hours, the servers shut down and you can't work anymore, that would frustrate people to no end. There are people who really want to put in that extra polish on their own volition. And they would feel handcuffed. Neil Druckmann replied, we've tried stuff like Evan is describing in the past where we've said, okay, no working past this hour, or it's mandatory that no one can work on Sunday. And there are always a lot of corner cases of someone saying, well, I couldn't work on Friday because I had to be with my kids. It's actually more convenient for me to come in on Sunday. When you try to have a silver bullet like one solution, you're always leaving someone behind. That's why we feel like we need multiple solutions. We have to approach this from multiple angles. Again, like we just said, a blanket statement isn't going to fix everything. I agree with them. There is no silver bullet to this solution, but that's what happens when you work in any job. People have different schedules. Things come up. Oh, my kid has a talent show that I got to go be in. My kid's in a ballet recital. My kid's graduating.
There's so many. The list is endless about what can come in. And
we've got a concert coming in. I want to take my family to it. Something, anything. Could be whatever. So it is a case of, well, I still want to work. I still want to put in my hours because I'm passionate about this thing that we're working on. But if I'm not part of that conversation, I could really fall behind, and something else could fall flat because I was gone for 2 days because you forced me to be off on Sunday, and I couldn't be there Saturday. So now I'm a day behind, and I've got to work to catch up, and yada yada yada, whatever bullshit that we can continue down this train of thought. But the thing is like, okay, if you need a more flexible approach, then implement one. Have people be guided. Be like, yo. And have people, if they are passionate and want to work past these 40 hours, be like, okay, you get one more shift. You get, you can work overtime for so much longer or whatever, and balance it out however you seem fit. But just don't have a stricter approach to this. Have a baseline like you're talking about, where you're saying, yo, if we let you do this, it could lead to this. And we're saying it probably won't lead to this because it's really not that dramatic to let you work an extra 5 hours overtime or 10 hours overtime or whatever. Sometimes you just want to work that hard. And then, we'll divvy out pay bonuses or whatever to show that we recognize that work that you're putting in.
Yeah, like when you clocked in, when you clocked out, that's how you measure that kind of stuff.
Exactly. But the thing is like, dude, if we let you run amok, John down in animations is going to want to run amok as well. And then Sarah then Sarah in coding is going to want to do it. And then someone else in some other department is going to want to do it. And then now we have a problem with everyone is working 80 hours. And we just can't allow for that. So, sure, work some overtime today if you feel like it. But tomorrow, come in late or something. Or tomorrow, leave early or something. Have a flexible solution. These aren't hard things to implement. And also this bullshit about how you haven't put a lot of thought into unionization. Come on, dog. unionization has been a topic in this industry for years now.
It's been unionization has been a thing since the early 1900s. You think about those kinds of things if you're in charge of a business. And I have never. Here's my issue with Evan. Right, I have yet to ever hear any kind of like big business owner, or CEO or whatever, be for unionization. Because what all unionization does is it gives more power directly to the workers.
Yep.
So he said this is just bullshit. It's a bullshit lie, if you were to ask me. But him saying that's not a solution for crunch, because once you allow the workers to decide if they want to, if they want to crunch, if they want to work those overtimes, or if they don't want to, they do so through a union. If you don't like, if a union is going to argue for less crunch time, less work, then you can join that union and get less crunch. If you don't want that, well, then don't be a part of the union, or just continue working as you did before. The entire point of a union is to give you that power. So that also, it seems like that's a big solution. It always seems to work in any other industry that exists, any other job that exists. If you unionize, you have more of a say in what you do in your job. So saying that's not a solution in any way, shape, or form is just not true.
It could just be as simple as like, okay, some people like to work overtime. Some people like to work more than 40. If they work 50 plus, they get another day off. Or something. It's something. Implement some ideas. Try something. Create policy. If policy doesn't work, change it. Fix it. Or tweak it. Figure out how to make it work. But your ideas of like, no, I don't think that's it. Just shooting it down because maybe it hurts back end. Maybe it hurts production. Maybe it this, that, or the third. Now, granted, what we're advocating is going to increase development times and increase development costs.
Yeah.
But when you're a big-ass AAA studio, you should be doing that. And granted, a lot of these games cost more than the most expensive Hollywood blockbusters. I was looking at numbers. Fast and Furious 9 was like $220-something million. And like, some of these, Last of Us 2, I'm sure was in that range, probably even more. Where it's $330 million plus dollars or some shit.
And other movies where you destroy cars, so it's pretty impressive.
So, and it's I mean, I get it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of effort, and it's a tricky situation. But we have a problem. Do something. Because there are examples of other studios of all different kinds of scales. And I understand the bigger your studio gets, the more complicated this problem gets. So I want to give y'all as much slack as I can. But the problem is that these reports have been going on. It's a problem industry-wide, and you guys are in a position to where, it's even said in this interview, y'all are seen as the crown jewel of Sony. The crown jewel of Sony is doing this. Fuck, man. What are these other ones who, maybe, aren't getting that type of funding and can't afford to not crunch or whatever because of how sick this culture is? Like, what is going on here? You need a unionization. You need more power for the workers here.
Whatever the model of Naughty Dog is at that time is probably going to be the thing that a lot of other Sony developers defer to, because it's Naughty Dog.
Exactly.
Sony's big earner. They're the big They're the one that's advertised the most. Obviously, you'd want to go with whatever they're doing.
100%. So, Sony, and really, like, this really does fall on PlayStation and Sony as a whole. You guys are arguably the front runners for the entire industry.
Yeah.
You put out the most popular console every time you drop. You have the most. I would say you have the most industry-defining games of the last decade. Whether that be Naughty Dog's work or Santa Monica with God of War or Spider-Man, or even you can even reach back to PlayStation 3 days with Uncharted and with what Ratchet and Clank was doing and how Ratchet and Clank evolved, and we were able to keep 3D platformers alive. I'm trying to think of some other big hits for PlayStation. Man, Naughty Dog really dominated in that PS3 era, didn't they?
Did. They were the big. Every single time it was Last of Us, Uncharted.
Yeah.
Who else?
I think they're sharing the spotlight a little more now. But
oh yeah, I went with Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica, Sucker Punch,
yeah.
With the acquisition of Insomniac and so forth. Yeah. But like, guys, y'all are the front runners. Y'all are the ones making all the money. You guys are the ones breaking all the records. Every time a big PlayStation game drops. Oh, this one did $8 million in a weekend. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Why are your workers killing themselves?
Good to know why.
Good to know why. Like, great. We have these great games. But I'll tell you what, we can wait for these great games.
Yeah. I read books. I watch anime. You watch movies.
I do other things.
Yeah.
I do other things.
You play other video games.
I
that
play
are always
other
coming
video
out.
games. Listen, the industry is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is coming out all the time. Honestly, if I had more time between game releases, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
I
You're
haven't
saying that
had time
nowadays?
to get to Psychonauts 2, Connor. I've been excited for Psychonauts 2 for 3 years.
Beat the first one?
No. But I want to play it.
I've heard, by the way, not to hurt you a little bit, but I've heard it's very good.
Psychonauts?
I've only heard positive
I'm hearing
things.
great things about Psychonauts.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I saw some stuff that looked really creative and cool and,
Mm-hmm.
pretty. So I think Psychonauts 2 is going to be Game of the Year contender.
Oh, calling it.
Along with, not for me, in general.
Oh, okay.
In general, I think it's going to be one of those guys. Moving on. Anything else in this thing? Some talk about how, they try to keep their work environment fun. They're going to keep doing single player games. It's what they do. Here's an interesting question. You basically put out a bow. You basically put a bow on the Uncharted series, but you still have that Last of Us multiplayer project in the works. Do you want to continue work on the IP you've established, or do you want have a desire to create new properties at this point? Evan Wells replied, "I think the answer is both. I think there's excitement to develop new IP, but there is still a ton of love for Uncharted and The Last of Us, and I think you see both kinds of projects from us in the future." That's a never say never answer. They don't really mean anything by that. Will we see a return to Uncharted and Last of Us? Probably.
In some form or fashion.
In some form or fashion. I mean, I imagine we're going to get spoilers for Uncharted 4. I imagine we're going to get some type of Uncharted game in another 5 years or so where it's the kid grown up and it's a new adventure with this kid or whatever.
That would be the obvious choice.
Something like that. Or maybe we'll get another game with a side character, with the Troy Baker character or the Claudia Black's character, something. I don't know. Who cares?
Maybe when that movie comes out, it's a movie, right?
Yeah.
Maybe when the movie comes out, they'll do a prequel game starring Matt Damon. Oh, wait, not Matt Damon. Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. Maybe that'll be the new cast.
As much as I don't personally care for the idea of it, I imagine we're going to get a Last of Us 3 at some point. Made too much money.
You think so?
I don't think they should.
I would see them going to a new IP. I mean, they make money.
Oh, eventually. I think the next thing they do will be a new IP.
Okay, you think it's after that's going to be returned to Last of Us?
Yeah, and then I think it'll be a rotate out to something else or something. Or maybe they'll grow to a point where they can have multiple things going on at the same time like Insomniac does. I'm getting concerned about this Last of Us multiplayer project, though.
Why? Because they're not being as open about it being a thing?
The way they're talking about it, it has a tone of, we're going to put this out for $60 type tone, too.
I see.
And I'm like, don't do that. This was supposed to be included with Last of Us 2 for free as part of the package. Don't do that. Now, if you want to do some tricky little director's cut Last of Us 2 shit,
I see that shit coming.
Have a $20 little thing. Maybe we get a story DLC with it and the multiplayer.
The
okay,
PS5,
I could see that shit.
The PS5 version of Last of Us Part 2.
Last of Us Part 2 already has a PS5 upgrade with 60 FPS.
But another one with multiplayer.
Ray tracing.
Does it already happen?
No.
Does it not?
No, you can't do ray tracing on a PS4.
Oh.
And the simple upgrades are mostly just frame rate upgrades. And, some minor resolution and increases. But yeah, you need to put out a different project for ray tracing. The ray tracing is a little more complicated. Anyways, and then they talk about how they deal with criticism, and they take it on the chin when they have to, and they support each other, yada yada yada. This some front runner stuff. Anyways, Connor, that's about all. I think we've exhausted everything we have to say about this.
It was a good interview.
It was a good interview. It's good to see industry leaders come out and talk and try to be as frank as they can. I understand they can't always, be as honest as they or forthcoming as they should be.
Yeah, in certain areas, definitely, you can't just. We are making a Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer.
It's not a good look to be yo.
I haven't thought about unionization.
What is your solution to crunch?
It's different for everyone.
It's different for everyone. Crunch isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't know about all that, Naughty Dog, but. Overall, I thought it was a fine interview. Connor.
That's it for the pennies, though.
That's it for the pennies. That's our final topic of today. Now, I feel like our final segment here is going to be shorter than it has in weeks prior. But do remember that we have a After the Hype review for Jack and Daxter coming down the pipeline here at the end of this podcast. It's about 20 minutes long, where me and Phil talk about Jack and Daxter. Remember, you can watch us play games live, twitch.tv/2pennygames. Speaking of Naughty Dog, Jack and Daxter, but also Uncharted 2 we're doing this week. Mm-hmm. So that'll be fun. That'll be exciting. Go watch us Tuesday, 1 p.m., twitch.tv/2pennygames. But until then, Connor, what have you been playing?
One thing. I ended up, shortly after we did the podcast last week, I bought the Iki Island expansion for Ghost of Tsushima and finished up that story.
Oh, you did it? You played it all?
I played it all.
Oh, you've done more than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I went through most of the island, finished the entire story. Piggybacking off what you said last week, it just improved some things upon Ghost of Tsushima originally.
Yep.
Doing some interesting side stuff, specifically with the animal sanctuaries, which I very much liked.
Yep.
Never found any monkey ones, though.
I found a monkey.
I never found that one. Oh, no, I did. I found one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a monkey.
I found a lot of cat ones.
A lot of cat ones?
A lot of cat ones.
I've only done 3. I've done a deer, a cat, and a monkey.
Well, those are nice. I like the... one of the first times in a while, the motion control has been used on a PS4 for my game. Like, I can't remember the last time that happened, because you have to use that to do the flute noises to sing the songs.
Yeah, and it's a good minigame, too.
It is good. I like it a lot, actually, yeah.
Better
than the
I can't remember
Fox
the
Den.
last time I've seen it, but anyways, yeah. But yeah, I haven't really touched Ghost this last week, but yeah, I enjoyed what I played, and I did play a little more, and I'm continuing to enjoy it. Ghost of Tsushima is a great game.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sucker Punch. Good job on this expansion.
Going through the story, if you are a fan, like if you liked Ghost of Tsushima as a whole, and you saw this come out and were like, I probably won't touch it. I'll just wait for the next Ghost of Tsushima game, whenever that is. But it's a must-play. Like, the story plays out in a way that if you are going to continue to play this franchise, because it's shaping up to be one, it's a must-play. You have to play it.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, it does some things with Jin's character. Obviously, the whole idea of the marketing, face your past, does carry out pretty well over here. Even if, one thing I will say, ending is kind of anticlimactic in a way.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because for some reason, it does the main plot, and then the final mission isn't connected to the main plot, which is a kind of weird capstone to it all.
Weird.
And I was expecting more, but it was just, it kind of gave me just a random thing tacked onto the end for a certain character that did nothing for me. It felt a lot like a side quest.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which, admittedly, the side quests have more work put into them comparative to the main campaign. At least I felt so. There was some...
Well, remember there was 2 different sides of side quests, where like there was the side quest guided around the characters,
yes.
where those were full fleshed out stories, and then there was like the go help me find my dog or some shit like
the generic side quest missions I should specify were better in this one.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, not like mind blowing. I won't remember any of them,
but just a little better.
Yeah, but it actually it kind of faltered on one of them. Won't go into that right now.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I did like the shamans amping up other people and the switching of the combat weapons.
Yeah,
the shield, the sword,
adds some great
spear.
complexity to the mechanics, and it's a clear sign of where the sequel is going.
Yeah, one thing I need to say though, because we talked about it, enough of the points of where things were different in the last podcast, but one of the new enemy types, this double speared, pointy spear type enemy, sucks.
Dude, overpowered as fuck. I still can't.
Yeah.
Do they ever give you anything to combat these guys better?
No.
What the fuck?
They have no window.
They don't.
They have no window. Their attacks
you
reach
can't
all the
parry
way over.
anything, and they do so much damage.
Yeah, that enemy literally is able to travel farther distances in the middle of an attack to hit you.
Yeah,
and dodge away than your own character can do.
Literally,
your own character can't do that.
100%. Yeah, and there were so many times where I was like, I felt like I dodged that one, but I guess I didn't.
Yes.
Oh my god! It reminds me that specific enemy type reminds me of the Spider-Man DLC where they just went too far with it.
Oh really?
Yeah, they went too far with the enemy types. But that was a problem of too many things going on at once. Too many plates are spinning at once.
Yeah.
And whereas you could have just it's cool that you had all these enemy types, but throwing them in combination the way you did, it's overwhelming and you're getting your ass kicked. This one, it's literally just if that guy's on the field, you have to either use a bow and arrow, do a stealth attack. Something.
Yeah, which is the tactic for him, but it's a tactic I don't like to do, because I shouldn't have to rely in the middle of a combat to have to use tools.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was not, and they take so much damage, dude. They're tanks, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that enemy type at all.
Definitely rush design.
And it hurts to hear that there's no way to, actually counter them.
No, you take them out first.
Literally.
Stealthing.
Yeah. Just focus him. If you see him, focus him.
Yeah. Thankfully,
So
there's a lot of
that's
allies in the game that you can if he gets distracted with one of them, you can slice him in the back. That was I guess that's the most effective way. But it obviously wasn't a bone they threw you. It was just
drop a smoke bomb on
that,
him and just fucking one hit him.
I did that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the multi-arrow, the shooting multiple arrows at once.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. That one's like that. That was one where it's like, I don't know how often I'm going to use it, but it's so useful in such a specific case that I'm like, well, if I don't have it equipped, I don't want to like dig into the menu, so I'll just have it on all the time, even though it takes away. Like I used to use the wind chimes.
Mm-hmm.
I would use had a poison in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I used to have, but I took that out for the arrows.
Oh, okay.
Which has hurt my stealth play.
That was really relied on.
Oh yeah, dude, you throw a wind chime, you're like, all right, that guy's fucked. and he'll go hide in the grass because you'll throw it in some grass and they'll go and then choke and die in the grass. Anyways, yeah, you been playing anything else?
No.
Mostly Ghost and touch on that Xenoblade. Yeah, I haven't really been playing much at all this week. I unfortunately didn't get back to Death's Door like I wanted to.
Unfortunate.
I didn't get back to Ghost like I wanted to. I didn't get back to Psychonauts like I wanted to. I just didn't. For whatever reason, I just didn't play a whole lot of games this week. But Gamescom, they popped out a trailer for Splitgate. In which Splitgate announced they've started a new season 0, they've said. And then I guess they're also staying in beta indefinitely now. But it came with a new battle pass that's 100 levels. It was like $10. I was like, sure, fuck it. I've already put 20 plus 30 hours into Splitgate. Well, maybe not that much, but I've put 20 hours into Splitgate at least by now. So let me drop $10 for you.
Yeah.
Why not? And I'm working my way through this battle pass right now, and I'm just having fun playing more Splitgate. They added some new game modes. Some of them are cool. Some of them, all right, cool, whatever. New challenges. All that's fun. New ranked mode, new 2v2 ranked mode, and boy, you gotta be good in that 2v2 ranked mode.
Oh, you do?
Fuck, man.
Skillful.
You're dealing with people who know what they're doing. Like ranked, you're dealing with people who know what they're doing. 2v2, fuck, man.
It's like the next level.
Those guys fucking kick ass.
Did you play that with Phil or
I did that with some Fergus. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I played with some Fergus. We did play with some Phil. We did some ranked stuff and stuff. We were just climbing, just fucking knocking motherfuckers out, bro. We're too good.
Yeah.
We're too good. They expanded the rankings in ranked mode as well. Before it was like Gold 1, Gold 2, Platinum 1, Platinum 2. Now it's up to 5.
Yeah. Oh.
There's 5 sub ranks for every major rank.
But you're getting that grind on. You're getting unlocked.
We're getting there. We're on our way. They reset everybody's rank as well with this new season drop. That's not surprising. But yeah, Splitgate continues to be great. Continues to be fun. New weapon skins, new armor skins. A lot of just great stuff, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I hope they do add some new guns or something into the mix.
That would seem the right choice. I mean, they're making it a games of service.
Yeah. So
kind of expected. I would hope.
Yeah, I'm enjoying my time with Splitgate, and I'm excited to play more Splitgate. Quick rising very fast up my games of the year list for this year. That they're Splitgate.
I wonder what is 1 right now. What is? Well, yeah. Do you feel fine saying that? What's 1?
What have I played this year?
Returnal.
Oh, it's Returnal. It's Returnal.
I figured it was Returnal.
It's Returnal. Yeah. I had to think about it. Yeah, no, Returnal, Ratchet are 1 and 2. From there, it's just kind of a grab bag hodgepodge. I gotta get deeper in games that I know are gonna end up on the list. I know Death's Door is gonna be on the list. I know. I imagine Psychonauts 2 is gonna be somewhere on the list from the buzz I'm hearing about it. It's a ever evolving list as we get deeper in, and there's still a bunch of games I'm excited for. Metroid Dread is my peak. Can't wait for that game right now. What else is coming out this year? There's a lot coming out this year that I just can't fucking read. Kena Bridge of Spirits. I'm excited for.
But that didn't get delayed till next year, did it?
No, that's still coming.
Okay, it was delayed.
Deathloop. Oh god, Deathloop comes out in like a week and a half.
Oh really?
Fuck, I gotta get to work on these games, dog.
Hey, Xenoblade, you're a long game.
You might have to put Xenoblade on the back burner.
I might, because it's so long.
We gotta get to. I'm telling you, man. Once Deathloop hits, fucking September all the way to fucking March, man, we're gonna be busy. We gotta start putting in work on these games. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for our 2 Penny Gamescast episode 58. Remember, you can catch this every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Time, but stick around. Don't leave just yet. Don't exit just yet. We got that After the Hype review coming in just a few moments, but we're going to go ahead and close out this podcast, say goodbye to Connor. You can catch us youtube.com/2pennygamescast, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Please drop a like and a follow. It really does help. We really do appreciate it. Share it to somebody who likes video games. They don't have to be as nerdy about it as we are, but, maybe they'll find something interesting about it. It really does help. It goes a long way. But until then, remember, Monday, 8 a.m. for this podcast. Tuesday, 1 p.m. For Hype, Have You Ever Played? We're doing Uncharted 2 this week. If you want to catch the standalone breakout review for Jack and Daxter, that's going live Tuesday, 8 a.m. as well. And until then, make sure you catch any of the Hype stream videos that we're editing down and putting up. We haven't put up one in like a week, so I need to get back to that at some point. Me and Phil are trying to build out some type of editing schedule to where we can pass it back and forth.
That makes sense.
Because it's a lot of work. And quite frankly, I'm sick of doing it alone. And working a job and playing games to keep up with the culture and doing the show and stuff. So it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Let me just vent real quick right here at the end. Anyways, until next week, have a great week. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
See ya.
Say hello to the people, Phil.
Take 3.
The third time's the charm. And welcome back to After the Hype, our review show for games that we play on Hype. Our HYEP. Have You Ever Played? Our game show that we do over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, in which one of us shows the other one a game that they've never played before.
Yeah, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central.
Central Time, yes, sir. For example, you had never played Metal Gear Solid, so I showed you the first 3 Metal Gear Solid games. I had never played Kingdom Hearts. You showed me Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. It was a good old time. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you
some
did.
Some ups, some downs, and then we just kind of go through. There's a whole series of them. We're slowly putting them up on youtube.com/2pennygamescast. They're making their way there. It's a lot of footage. It's a lot of editing. We're working on it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tavin. Hello. And this last week, I played, for the first time, Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. Now, Phil.
Original release for the PlayStation 2 over in 2001.
2001. I got it right here, actually. Jak and Daxter Precursor Legacy, first release December 3rd, 2001.
Squeaked it right out there.
But I'll say, man, it did pretty well right out the gate, bro.
Yeah, man.
It said, pulling from like Wikipedia, they're listing sales about 1 million copies by 2002.
It's that Naughty Dog energy, bro.
It's that Naughty Dog energy, bro. So like 28 days they've selling 1 million copies. Great work. And then by 2007, the only other stat I could find is 2007. In the U.S. alone, it had sold about 2 million copies. I imagine it's not selling a whole lot. I mean, worldwide, it sold 1 million by 2002. I imagine the drop-off was pretty severe. Japanese aren't crazy about 3D platform mascot character type stuff outside of like Mario. And stuff, but like they're not like Western type shit.
I thought you were saying like 3D platformers. I was like,
no.
I mean,
no.
They do
mostly Westerner.
Yeah,
Western made stuff.
We talked about like how I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but for fucking Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, it was one of like it made it to like the top of Japanese charts, like for 3D platform, or I guess it was technically a 3D platformer still. When they lean more into the third-person shooter vibe
by Going Commando, yeah. Anyways, sporting about a 90 on Metacritic. We played the HD version.
Yep.
It came out on PS3, is on PS4.
I
played
couldn't
it on
tell you.
PS5.
I couldn't tell you when it was released.
Man, it's something like that. HD collection came out February 7th, 2012.
Oh, okay. Well.
Anyways, Phil.
Yeah.
You are a fan
of
that there Jak and Daxter. You showed it to me.
Played that series as a child.
What's the breakdown? What's the history with Jak?
I played it for the first time at my old babysitter's house for the first time because her kids had it, and the first thing I remember from that game is the fishing mini game that we played.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's that first memory of it. Okay. Yeah. So how does Jak and Daxter stack up for you now?
Still pretty solid, pretty up there for me. Like as far as like the whole series.
Okay.
The original game is not that high, but 2 and 3.
2 and 3, big fan of 2 and 3. Okay.
I didn't play 3 until like much later. Like I think I was at least like 14, 15 when I played 3.
Wow.
I played 2 when I was like maybe 7 or 8.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
excuse me, I'm so sorry. I just had some mac and cheese. Yeah, Jak and Daxter, Precursor Legacy, my first time playing. I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. It's a nice little collectathon 3D platformer. I think the level design is mostly pretty solid. I'm not the biggest fan of how Jak feels navigating the world, but it's perfectly functionable.
How'd you like that there was like almost like nearly no loading screens like the entire?
I did like that.
Time?
I like that.
It's very
I like
very
that quite
fluid.
a lot. They really like. I mean, is there a lot of loading screens in this? Well, I guess yeah. Like games like Ratchet and stuff, you got full loading screens. I mean,
they hide it with like moving with like in Ratchet and Clank anyway, with you like flying the ship around.
yeah,
like,
but that's a
space.
loading screen. It's
Yeah.
just a more entertaining loading screen than we're used to more in the modern era.
I'll tell you, they keep the very fluid thing throughout the entire series. Like the only thing that they'll hide it by like having a door unlock.
Oh, okay.
Like because you'll be like stepping into a door and it'll have like gears unlocking.
Oh, okay. Classic Naughty Dog, hide your loading screen, stay immersed in the world type shit.
Yep.
Excuse me. We're gonna see a lot of that coming up in Uncharted 2.
Nathan Drake.
But yeah, I thought the game was solid. I liked the combat fine enough. There's a health system in this game. Yeah, it was 3 hits and then the gain 50 to get a hit back.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can have a bonus 50 little green orbs to have the bonus 4th hit.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I thought all of that was fine. I thought for the most part everything difficulty wise was fairly balanced. Never felt out of my control. I never felt like, oh fuck, man, what am I supposed to do here? Did think that ice level was pretty tough though. That ice level definitely had a
Definitely
bit
a
of
roadblock from my
spike.
childhood, I'll say.
Definitely a spike for me, here in the modern day as well. But yeah, I genuine like I had a fair time with Jak and Daxter.
Yeah.
We finished. What was our percentage at? Something like 79, 78?
Pretty high.
Yeah. So we didn't do everything, but we did a good
Fair shake.
chunk, fair shake. Enough to where I could probably jump in if I wanted to and
Get
clear
the plot.
clear
I mean, the
everything
plot
out.
is literally 100% of the
just
game.
100% the game. Yeah, I imagine so. And I'm not adverse to doing that. But it's just going to be one that sits on the back end. I really should go into.
We skipped an entire level.
We did skip an entire level.
Like a little marshlands that you do in like that second hub world.
Ah, okay. All right. Neat. Did not like the, what do they call it? The Zoomer?
Zoomer, yep.
Zoomer, the motorbike thing. Didn't like that really at all.
You actually hop onto a person born after 2000.
Oh, okay, great. This game came out in 2001. That's hilarious. Anyways.
Zoomer.
Yeah.
Funny.
Funny. They didn't plan that. No, but I didn't like the Zoomer at all. I thought it was way too floaty. I thought it didn't turn corners quite tight enough. I never felt fully in control. It was a little too, like, it felt like being in an ice rink and just on some skates, and I'm just sliding everywhere.
I understand your perspective coming on it from new. I mean, sure, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not adverse to it at all.
Sure.
But
yeah,
comes with time.
It's just one thing that didn't work for me. The more like linear segments where it was just like, hey, just get to the end as fast as possible, whatever. Those worked better for me. And
Yeah,
dodge
those are like
obstacles and stuff.
That first one that you do from like jumping from the first hub world to the second one.
Yeah,
to, like, the little
lava thing.
like
Yeah.
planes or whatever. That's like iconic for me in my mind. Like
Oh,
just
really?
running through it like that. It's just so cool. Like
Yeah.
with having like a little speed boost and like bumping into the bump. I fucking bumped the microphone there.
Yeah.
Talk about bumping into things.
Hey.
I bump into those like little balloons to cool yourself off.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
Yeah,
I like
all of that was better for me. I enjoyed those more. It was when it was like, here's a whole level dedicated to the Zoomer, and you're just gonna kind of,
You're
drive
referring
around.
to Precursor Basin in that second hub world. You already had to like chase down the moles. You had to chase down the flying lurkers. You had to do the rings. You had to do the
timed
plants.
rings.
You hated the plants.
The plant,
you
the
hated
plants
that.
I was not a fan of, but the plants like were whatever. The rings really were killing me. I was just like, I just cannot get around, and I have to look for these things.
I remember that being another like slight roadblock from my childhood.
I mean, it's a little bit of like
for some
just
reason
learning the path that they want you to take, but it's just
what was interesting to me is you had less trouble with the blue rings, but you had more trouble with the first one, the first set of rings, the purple ones.
Not even
for me,
learning.
For me, it's the reverse.
Just the reverse for you.
Yeah, I always remember having trouble with the blue ones as a kid.
Interesting.
Huh.
Okay.
Because it's meant to be like a step up.
Yeah,
you know?
got you. And then yeah, the whenever it's like just like a straightforward path of the zoomer, that was better. I felt more in control because I could feel like I could stay in one of 3 or so lanes and work my way around. I like the cool down your bike with the balloons mechanic. I thought, that added a level of complexity to it that kept it engaging and kept it a little more like edge of your seat type feel, like you're really into it. And it's really those elements are really the only bit in Jak and Daxter where I see that and I go, this is more like we talked about in Crash. This is setting groundwork for what Naughty Dog will become, and with games like Uncharted and Last of Us,
which is like how like they're getting feedback from when these games are released, how people respond to like certain
it's also,
controls and like,
and it's also them
gimmicks.
It's them laying groundwork of figuring out who they are and who they like and what they specialize in. So like those zoomer speed joints that I'm talking about that I was more favorable towards, like those lay groundwork in my mind for what becomes the set pieces in Uncharted. And you kind of saw a little bit of it in Uncharted 1 with
talking
like,
your speedboat shit.
Yeah, the speedboat and the Jeep and shit. But like in 2 and in 3 and a little bit in 4, it goes to a different level. And this is like that real this is that precursor. No pun intended. This is the precursor to that, to where you see it and you go, oh, this is the thing that they choose to expand on and move forward with. Wasn't the biggest fan of Jak's movement in the world. Specifically, I didn't really care for his double jump. It felt too stiff and too. I didn't feel like I could get any movement with it. It just felt like this is gonna be. It sounds weird to say, but it just felt like a little bit of an extension of the first jump, which in definition that's what a double jump is. But it didn't feel double jump-y enough for me. Which I'm like 90% just putting that on personal. Like,
you didn't feel like you were really double jumping in the real world, like everyone can actually do.
100%. No, but it just didn't. I don't know. That second jump just didn't quite do it for me. But overall, I thought level design was solid. I actually really enjoyed that final world.
The Citadel.
Yeah, I thought
it's just a bunch of platforming.
Yeah, I thought the level design in that area specifically was super tight and super fun to do.
It's kind of what's interesting to me is going back and looking at this, like the precursor stuff is kind of like steampunky. It's like
a little bit
in like a way.
It's got a touch of it going on. Yeah, for sure.
I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Going back and looking at it like that.
I enjoyed in comparison to the first Crash Bandicoot game. Excuse me, I keep burping. In comparison to the first Crash Bandicoot game, I did enjoy more of an attempt. They put more of an attempt into putting a narrative into this game, which I did enjoy. I didn't find this one too compelling or engaging, but I enjoyed that there's characters that I can recall, like Kira and who's wizard dude
Samos. He's a sage, not a wizard, Tavin. He's a sage.
And then Jak and Daxter. Jak, I'm hoping, becomes less of a cardboard cutout.
He's a silent protagonist.
We
know how much you love silent protagonists, Tavin.
It's fine. It's just make a character. Just give him a voice. It's not that big of a deal, guys. I don't need to be in his shoes or whatever. Like Daxter though. Daxter I found annoying as fuck.
I don't know why you hated Daxter so much.
He's grating on the ears to me.
He's you, Tavin! He's you!
Everything he says, I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Say goodnight, Jak!
Yeah, was not a fan of Daxter at all. I like the spin move is just Jak grabbing Dax and just fucking knocking the enemies around with him.
It might look like that, but it's more Daxter's like holding on for dear life as Jak spins wildly.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, it totally looks like he's grabbing him and using him as a weapon.
I can see how it might look like that, but it's like him holding on to Jak's neck and like him like getting flailed around.
Yeah, because what's the other? There's a dash move in this game, yes, or something.
Yeah, it's punch.
The punch. That's what it is. The punch is him holding on for dear life. I saw that.
So the spin is Jak literally like doing like a midair split and like holding his arms out and spinning. That's literally it. Yeah.
Oh, it totally looked like he was using Daxter as a weapon. Okay.
He does a jumping jack in the air and there's a jumping jack, and then fucking spins in the air and like with all of his limbs. He does like a windmill,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I need to go
like
back
a helicopter.
I need to go back and rewatch it because it totally looked like he's using Daxter as a weapon.
Yeah.
Which would have been really funny to me. But if it's just
I just like the image of like without the motion of it, just Jack jumping and like having his like limbs like fully extended.
Right. But yeah, I mean that's mostly what all I've got to say. Levels ranged in quality. There were some that I really liked, some that I was just like, okay, this is fine, whatever. Didn't like pretty much anything in the penultimate hub world, the lava hub
lava
world.
one.
Didn't really care for most of that.
I love minecarts.
Yeah, those minecarts. What a time sink. And then
just that over and over and over.
Yeah, things like the spider cave and the snow. I actually didn't mind the snow level in terms of design. I just found the difficulty spike.
It's a very large difficulty spike, especially since like that's the first time they even introduce ice as like a platform for you.
Oh
to,
yeah, and the ice sliding is
and,
not. I did not like the ice sliding in this game.
And then they throw those infinitely spawning enemies at you from the snow. And,
yeah, that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Why did you do that,
Yeah.
Naughty Dog? But yeah, no, I mean. It's a solid game, man.
Yeah, man.
It's cool.
It's good.
It would be enough to be like, okay, yeah, if a sequel launched from this, yeah, I'd probably play that too.
Well, all it does is it keeps the bare bones as far as like gameplay, and it adds guns, and it turns it from a 3D platform into a GTA.
Oh, the second one you're talking about. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. I'm totally down with playing that.
Yep, all of the movement is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Just adds guns, more focus on vehicles.
Oh, also because I kept talking about on stream, so I guess it's worth mentioning here. Not necessarily a negative, but I thought checkpoint placement was very strange in this game. Sometimes it was like you're placing them in weird places too frequently. Sometimes they're too far apart.
If we had a camera thing on me, it would be zoomed in on my face. It'd be Smiles in Jack 2, like the subtitles, Smiles in Jack 2.
But it's not like they weren't like bad. They were just weird. It would just be like, really, I got a checkpoint for here, but not this other case.
I'm so excited.
Sometimes it's just strange. It's just strange sometimes. Anyways, yeah, there's that. But yeah, it was solid.
I kind of want to just jump straight to Jack 2.
We can, whatever. That's your choice.
Yeah.
For when we're doubling back to Uncharted 2 this next week.
I keep wanting to call the games Nathan Drake.
They're not called Nathan Drake. The 2 of the 4 titles have Drake in the title.
Yeah. Drake's Fortune is the first one.
Drake's Fortune and then Drake's Deception in the third. Oh God.
Is that what the third one's called?
Drake's Deception, baby.
That's a terrible title.
Oh, and you know what? We'll get there. No, I like all the Uncharted games.
You said you like 2 the most?
Yeah, 2 is my favorite. I go back and forth between 2 and 4.
2 and 4. That's what Connor was saying.
Yeah, it's a toss up of like.
We had a little chit chat because I was riding in his truck when he was helping me move my desk.
There's also there's an element to all of. Well, it's an element in just video games in general. But it's especially relevant for Uncharted with context. Like how games were structured changed after Uncharted 2. And it's something now that you look back on and you go, this is fairly I don't want to say cookie cutter, but this is fairly standard. But like it's a moment of like context of like, we'll get there. I'm getting in the weeds. I think a good side by side example is when we eventually played God of War 3 and then comparing that to Uncharted 2. Because like God of War, also a franchise known for its big set pieces and big imagery stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not like in it like you're in it in Uncharted 2. Yeah. Anyways. Beside the point.
Also mentioned on the stream, but like we're gonna go through a lot of Naughty Dog.
We are. Yeah, it's a Naughty Dog season right now for us, I guess. When you're one of these legacy developers who's been around since the 90s and pretty much.
I mean, we jump between Insomniac and Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog, man, they kind of ran the gambit there on PlayStation consoles for a long time.
Yeah.
I'd say Insomniac less so during the PS3.
Oh, for
generation.
sure, for sure, less so. I mean, all they have to focus on is Ratchet.
Well, Ratchet, and then like Resistance, which was popular enough, but like never really popped off. You know, like Naughty Dog did with Uncharted and Last of Us, of course. But I would say Ratchet is, in my mind, Ratchet is the king of 3D platformers, and I think because he's still relevant today shows that.
Yeah, and Insomniac has Ratchet, and then they have the really bad Spyro games, which we don't talk about. That's Jak and Daxter.
Anyways, Jak and Daxter. You know what, Phil? Solid game. Not mad at it at all.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it for the most part.
Fucking banging your head against that final boss.
The final boss?
Yeah.
You felt? I felt more banging my head against Lava Dude.
Oh no, you were definitely banging your head against. Oh my god, against Claw. Yeah, for sure.
Oh no, yeah. Now that I think about it, you're right. I did have a moment of like, I know what to do, and I'm just not executing on it.
Yeah.
In that final boss. Now that I think
it was
about
both of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's fair. Yeah. I did like the bosses.
Yeah. Got the
pretty much
plant, which was barely a boss.
I'm struggling to even remember that. It's been 5 days.
It throws out like the spiky little aphid dudes that will like lose their spikes. You
have
to hit those,
that thing. And you got to hop up the leaves and then that one was.
That's
fun.
like a mini boss.
Yeah, that was whatever. But like the full-time bosses, I enjoyed. Yeah, I enjoyed all the bosses in that. I can't believe we skated by and almost didn't talk about any of them. But I think
fine.
I genuinely enjoyed I enjoyed the atmosphere and the world of Jak and Daxter.
It's got a nice little world.
And then the level design was solid enough to back that up, and then the platforming is again solid enough. I think as of right now, just in terms of franchises, it's sitting closer to the bottom of Naughty Dog games for me. That may change with 2 and 3, and I think
as far as the franchise goes, I think it's going to only build up for you.
It might, yeah. And then as we continue with my experience with Crash, we'll see where it lands. But and then it's also Uncharted's got a touch of nostalgia for me because I've been playing Uncharted since I was fucking 12, 13, something like that. So there's a touch of nostalgia with Uncharted with that. But just to directly compare, which isn't really fair because they're two different types of games. I did like Crash better. I felt Crash handled better. I liked the platforming in that better, and I felt the level design was overall tighter than that. But that's not really fair. The two different types of games are going for two different types of things. Yeah. Sure, they're both 3D asterisks platformers. Even though Crash is more focused on putting you in a
course
lane,
clear,
course, putting you in a course, and you're running to the end. Whereas Jak is more of like a explore this world,
collectathon. Yeah.
So a little bit of apples and oranges in there when we get down to like nitty gritty of what is a 3D platformer. But I didn't hate my time, so I'm it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Solid. Yeah. I don't know, 6.
All right.
5, high 5, low 6.
That's kind of where I'm sitting for the first Jak game anyway. I'd probably say 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So solid game. Interested to see more, play more. But Phil.
Yeah.
If you don't know, this After the Hype episode goes live Tuesdays, 8 a.m. YouTube.com/.
You know what, Tavin? I did know that.
Oh my god! And if you're listening to this on Tuesday, ideally we're probably live right now, probably with some Uncharted 2. What is that one called? Among Thieves. Among Thieves? Honor Among Thieves. No, Among Thieves. That's what it's called.
Are you thinking of Sly?
Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves. That's what that one's called. You are right. You are correct, sir. Anyways, but no, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. We're going to play it. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
It's Naughty Dog season. Fuck it. Let's. Why the fuck not?
That's one naughty dog.
Until then, thank you so much for listening, everybody. That was Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy. And until next time, probably next week, because I can't imagine Uncharted 2 taking us that long. Phil, say goodbye to the people.
I'm out of here!